Good evening and welcome to the WCTV Game of the Week. I'm Parker Hazard alongside Creed Henderson. We'll be announcers this evening with the hosting Nolensville Knights taking on the visiting Summit Spartans. It's going to be Creed, you know, this is a wonderful evening tonight for football. It's finally starting to feel like football weather, you know?
It's fantastic weather. We just had a great national anthem by the Nolensville strings group there. There's a few violins and a cello, and it's just a good night for football, Parker.
You know, man, it's very exciting. And, you know, we got two teams coming in with each other here. Summit 2-1 and Nolensville 0-3. Nolensville, a young team, but, you know, showing their resilience so far this season and something not to take lightly over there on the Summit side as well.
That's right, Nolensville 0-3, but the three teams they've lost to are no slouches. They're undefeated. All three teams are undefeated, and this team they're having to face tonight is no slouch either. Their only loss is to one of the teams that beats Nolensville and Summit both, which is Spring Hill.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and Summit's offense coming in that wing T is going to be something that Coach Hester was noting that is going to be very important for them to figure out, but we'll see what they can do here. So Nolensville going to be kicking off for us this evening.
Yeah, wing T's hard to practice for. You know, it's hard to get guys running that, you know, correctly and then with the same speed that they're going to see tonight. So a tough task for Nolensville. They're probably the underdogs coming into tonight, but it's the first time these two teams have ever faced each other on the football field. It's not a region game. Summit is 5A this year, and Nolensville is 4A, and so it's not for region points, but it's for county pride. So here we go.
Got a little pooch kick here. Received at the 40.
Johnson on the return for the Spartans.
Going to be Nick Johnson there on the return there. So starting lineups this evening for the Summit High School Spartans, we have Ethan Cash, Ty Carter at running back, George Odemegwu, Robert Holmes, both running back, John Casey at wide receiver, Nick Johnson at tight end, Mason Weatherwood, Trevor Kuhl, Ethan Cakram, Justin Woodley, and Cody Davis finishing off the offensive line.
It's going to be interesting to see how much we see of Ty Carter tonight. We see him on the field right now and see how full speed he is.
Well, right there is the speed that you mentioned. We're going to have a toss play and first play from scrimmage. It's going to be about a 50-yard gain there for a touchdown for the Summit Spartans.
Just like that. We mentioned Ty Carter's name, and he gets shot out of a cannon for the first score of the game.
Definitely not disappointing so far this evening, Creed, and it's definitely going to be something for the Nolensville defense to make some adjustments.
And, you know, Ty Carter, probably the best player on both sides of the field for Summit. He's their, you know, a shutdown corner, as they like to call him. But he is absolutely no slouch at running back either, and we just saw that.
That's right, and those few looks from colleges that he's getting is for that corner position. So going to be very interesting to see how he plays on the other side of the ball.
Extra point was up and good. 7-0 right out of the gate, Parker.
All right, let's see if Coach Hester can get his guys on offense together and get some spark.
Here we see the replay. See if we can note anything that happened here. If it was maybe just a blown assignment, somebody that was supposed to be tracking Ty that missed him.
Looks like a good pull up front by the offensive line.
Yeah,
Summit,
nice hole that he ran through.
And Carter just turned the burners on and just used it to his advantage.
Probably not going to catch him if he gets in front of you running down the field.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right.
It's a fantastic stadium they have here at Nolensville. It's my only second time I've been out here. We were here one time last year, WCTV was, for their first and only varsity game that they had. And they have the turf field that's sort of the envy of the county right now.
That's right.
And really looks sharp. Logo looks sharp out there. Here we see the defensive starters for Summit.
All right, we got Braden Stem at defensive end, Chance DeRoss, Zach Claus, Christian Jolly, Robert Holmes, Nick Johnson, Jonathan Myers in the linebacking core. As mentioned, Ty Carter at cornerback, Jatavion Hayes as well. Jacob Douglas and Chandler Alexander are going to be finishing off the safeties for Summit.
Yeah, I know other than Ty Carter, also Jatavion Hayes, I think he'll see some time both ways tonight. He's very fast, elusive receiver and kick returner.
I was going to say, yeah, that speed on the kick return is going to be key, as well as possible deep threat in passing scenarios. Going to have the return from about the 9-yard line here. Right, bunching outside to the 25.
That's Zach Campbell doing the return honors for Nolensville tonight. A little hard to see those Nolensville numbers from up here, but I think we'll squint our eyes and make it through the night.
That's right.
Here we see the Nolensville offensive starters. We got Brandon Wharton Jr. at quarterback, Pizzakula, Chapman, Campbell, Stay School at wide receiver, Wes Jones at wide receiver. Then to the line we have Miller, Rickett, Sparks, Collette, and Mickelson. Anybody stand out for you there?
No, definitely I want to see how Brandon Wharton is going to be playing this evening. He had a interesting game last week against Spring Hill, bringing his team from behind in the second half. I'm interested to see how they do here. Going to have a fake read there to the outside pitch.
That's Zach Campbell again, I think, on the run.
It's a great first play, kind of putting Summit on their heels there.
Showed some nice speed there.
Absolutely.
Good crowd on hand for Nolensville we see tonight. They're excited about this game and playing Summit for the first time.
It's definitely something to be excited about here. Nolensville are going to be starting here at 1st and 10.
Ooh.
Oh, wow, great fake by Wharton there. I believe it caught us off guard there, Creed.
Still up on his feet and churning.
Wonderful 13-yard gain there from Wharton.
Summit's got to be careful of Wharton tonight. He is a dual threat. He can tuck it and run. He also has a good arm and really probably one of the best weapons that Nolensville has tonight to try to keep up with Summit as they go through the night.
Absolutely, and you think about, just like you said, the dual threat. Summit's going to have to not overrun their assignments on defense, and it's going to be definitely a tool to Nolensville's advantage here to keep Summit off guard. Going to have motion here. Give up the middle there.
34.
Looks like Ryan Pistula.
No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10.
Now Colton Dooley is absent right now from the field for Nolensville. We're not sure if we're going to see him tonight or not. He might be kind of on the mend a little bit, but he's one of their weapons that if we don't see him tonight, they're really going to wish he was out here to kind of help them with this battle.
That's right, and this is a guy that's had a lot of carries this season so far, and might just be getting a little bit of a rest there. Looks like a little bit of confusion off the snap there from Wharton and his running back. Might have gotten 1 yard there. It's going to bring up 3rd and 8 for Nolensville.
These two coaches are some of my favorites in the county. Coach Hester for Nolensville and Coach Coleman for Summit. They both do a great job. One funny thing from the I'll wait till this plays over. I'll come back to that.
Big 3rd down here for the Knights. Rolling to the right, looking back left, and that is Wesley Jones. He's not going to get a lot of yards at the catch there. It's going to bring up 4th down for the Knights here.
Yeah, not a whole lot doing there. One funny thing I was going to mention from the coaches' preview show that we heard these two guys talking about, they both do the offensive coordinator job for their team, and they both also coach outside linebackers for their team. That's underneath right. The defensive coordinator. And so they were getting a chuckle out of that they both were, I would consider them both very respectable offensive coordinators, and they both think they're subpar outside linebacker coaches, so they got a chuckle out of that.
That's right. Both think highly of each other and mutual respect there, both coaches. So it's going to bring up a 4th down here for the Knights. Let's see what they draw up here. Looking over the middle. The pass is complete. It's number 13, Zach Campbell. He's breaking free. Shoved out of bounds there.
Zach Campbell on the reception.
2-yard line.
The 3-yard line.
Nice completion. We're seeing really good speed out of Zach Campbell tonight. When he's getting a little bit of a running room, he's really taking off and punishing Summit.
That's right. He's showing us a little bit of his speed there as well.
This would be big for Nolensville too. I'm sure that's always demoralizing if you get scored on in the first 15 seconds of a game. But if they can come down here and answer, that's huge for them. Just for the morale of their team to get back up and into this game.
Absolutely, and like you said, with that morale, a lot of young guys there. Let's look at the replay here. It's a great pass, read the zone great. Nobody there.
A little bit of a missed tackle there at the very beginning, and then he just took off.
And Hayes, number 7 for Summit, keeping him out of the end zone. 1st and goal, going to give up the middle to the fullback.
Couldn't tell if he snuck in.
Don't think he got there. I think the linebacker's got to push.
Be marked down just the goal line. Going to bring up second and goal.
Didn't see who that was on the stop.
Not
there.
sure. It's going to bring up second and goal here. Looks like Summit's going to be packing up the box here. Maybe get something outside for the Knights. Oh, fumble
Yeah,
snap.
a little bit of a bobbled snap there. Summit's pointing that it went their way, but
Oh, Creed, this would be demoralizing for that Knights
Yeah.
offense.
they're pretty excitedly. I think the refs are agreeing with them here, Parker. It is Summit football.
Just as when you think everything's going right, fourth down completion, big gain there. Just a mental error. Now, you know, Coach Hayes was, Hester was mentioning that they are averaging around 4 turnovers a game. And just outside 8 minutes left in the first quarter, they have their first.
I know, and that's something he's, you know, of all the things he's trying to work on, that was one of his keys to them getting better as a team. Is you can't win with those turnovers week to week.
Absolutely, and that has to do with the young team as well. So we'll see how their defense answers here. Gonna have a sneak by Cash. Looks like he pushed away for a yard or two there.
It's a little deceptive where the end zone starts and the soccer field or whatever that is begins down there. The yellow line is 5 yards back into the end zone.
That's right. And they're taking advantage of that turf, being able to have kill 2 birds with 1 stone with sports out here.
They're on about the 2. It looks like 2 or 3.
It looks like it's going to be
Maybe the 4.
I'm thinking it's the 3 there. Going to be second down and 7. Cash with the give.
It'll be interesting. One thing Coach Qualls always, or Dr. Qualls, excuse me, always jokes about with these guys, with Coach Coleman, is how much he's going to let Cash throw the ball tonight. And he kind of jokes with him. He usually throws it 8 times a game, 6 of them are in warm-up. So
that's right. I was going to say, I think it was only twice last week against White County.
But to Ethan Cash's credit, though, he looked really sharp in the Independence game. Here we go. We see the Nolensville High School defensive starters. We got Yoshihara, Rickert, Reeder, Stay School, Miller, Wallace, Ware. We'll get the rest of those after this play.
Oh, goodness. There goes Carter again, breaking free to the left side.
Carter on the carry, forces his way outside.
We'll see if we can get those defensive starters back up and get the rest of the list read out here.
Tim Stayskill on the tackle. That's going to be a first down for the Cardinals.
Looked like number 80, Stayskill, saved a potential larger gain there, possibly a touchdown.
There we go. So we ended with Wallace, Ware as linebacker, Kutris, Anderson, Jones, and McWilliams all in the backfield.
Bring up 1st and 10 here for Summit. It'll be a toss to the left. George Odemegwu there, the carry.
Odemegwu was one of the players I really have been impressed with as the season has gone on. He's kind of in the – we saw Ty Carter go out of the Independence game around the 3rd quarter, and Odemegwu really stepped up in that game and helped carry Summit to probably the biggest win of their school history against Independence. Maybe, you know, getting into the playoffs, maybe could have continued with that last year, but
especially with Independence track record the past few years.
Exactly. Yeah.
But with Odemegwu, you know, being a sophomore and as well as Ethan Cash, it's going to be something big for Coach Coleman to look out in the future. As it looks like George took another carry there up the gut.
We got some other great games around the county tonight, Williamson County. We got Fairview at Waverly. Page is Ravenwood's at Page, I believe, tonight. That's a very interesting game inside the county.
Very, very good one right there.
Of course, we're here tonight with Summit at Nolensville. Centennial has Cane Ridge, Brentwood versus Stewart's Creek, Franklin versus McGavick, and Indy versus Hillsboro. So some exciting games tonight around the Williamson County schools.
That game out in Hillsboro with Independence going to have quite a bit of athletes out there on the field. Yeah. 3rd down and 1 here for Summit. The keeper up the gut by Odemegwu again.
Maybe kind of just gets 4 or 5 yards at will sometimes, it seems like. He's hard to bring down and kind of hits the hole and just keeps moving forward.
That's right. Definitely the power back to the 3.
We'd like to thank Company Engineering Systems for their support of Nolensville High School. Also Nelson Malta for their support. For all your turbine needs, call Nelson Malta.
So let's see if Coach Hester can get his guys on defense here for the Knights to kind of put a stop to the run game. It looks like Jatavion Hayes going to the outside, and they did just that.
Nice tackle there. That's
Hayes on the carry, Facial on the stop.
see if I can get a number there.
Just like
Colby Henderson, is that right?
I think it was number 80 State School there.
Oh, okay.
But hey, better to have more than one than just single.
Exactly.
Gang tackling is the key. There's a significant loss there. No, well, it's a good thing to change it up a little bit, go on the outside, but running up the middle seems to be working for the Spartans so far.
It's one of those, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Exactly right. Oh, wow. There's a Spartan version of a Statue of Liberty play there. Looks like Odomegwu going to get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe an extra yard.
This would be a nice spot for Nolensville to get a stop and, you know, see what they can do. 3:57 left in the first quarter, so plenty of time, obviously. And sure, Coach Hester would like to have that goal line possession back, but you can't live in the past. Got to move on and see what they can do here.
That's exactly right. It'd be really nice to keep them on the Summit side of the field here. So it takes away the flip of field position there. So Summit's got an interesting look here with 3 wide to the right. Draw play to Carter.
Looks like he got it.
You know, Creed, it's just so hard to read what that Summit offense is going to do, let alone how to contain number 13, Carter. Just so fast, so elusive, and has shown his ability to break tackles as well.
Yeah, here we see the replay.
It's a great draw there by Cash.
Looked like 80 had a beat on him, but Carter's speed is tricky. You know, it's like when you used to see Michael Vick running down the field, and you think you got the angle on him, but then suddenly you're running into your other player, you know, chasing after him.
That's exactly right. Looks like Cash is going to drop back to pass for the first time this evening. Ooh, a little high there. The intended receiver is going to be the tight end, Nick Johnson. Might have got a little bumped up there. But as you mentioned, number 80, Stakesville for Nolensville. His name and number has been called quite a bit on the defensive side. Definitely going to be a workhorse for them to keep the Spartans contained this evening.
Yep. We saw a pass attempt there. It was close. A little floated on him on Cash a little bit there.
Yeah, I had to blink a couple times. I wasn't expecting Cash to throw this early. The second attempt from the 47, the Nolensville side. Going to have Cash tossing to Ty Carter. And again, he just gets that lane on the outside and nothing but green.
Got our first penalty of the game here.
Tackle made by Stockmaster. Let's see what the penalty is.
Looks like from the umpire, yeah, it's going to be holding.
Holding against the offense.
It's coming back.
So that's something good for Nolensville there.
Replay the down.
Great turnout by Summit's crowd as well, coming out here at Nolensville. A little bit of a drive out here from some of the places in the county, but nice turnout from they got their band over there and filled up the stadium, and just a great night for football.
That's exactly right. Looks like they got their own version of a whiteout over there.
Yeah.
You know, like you mentioned earlier, I'm very impressed with this Nolensville stadium here. It's very nice and just great to be back for another Friday night of football. Ooh, a little bit of trickery there.
I think Odomegwu saw that end zone in front of him. He was a step or two away from getting there. He got shoestring tackle. Got a player down, Nolensville player down in the backfield there. Here we see the replay. So the double handoff.
Double handoff there. Holmes passing to George there.
Couldn't quite tell the number that made the shoestring tackle, but I think this is Yoshi here getting up a little slow here for Nolensville. But he's walking off. They're going to give him a hand.
It's always good to see
Maybe just got the wind knocked out of him or something like that.
First and 10, ball spotted on the 35-yard line.
So far, Summit is driving Creed. It's actually a longer drive here on the closing 2.5 minutes of the first quarter. See if the Knights can come up with a stop here. Like another pass by Cash. A little bit of pressure there, and it looks like it was tipped at the line.
Looked like it bobbled, hit the ground.
Pass is complete.
Yeah, the pocket collapsed on him just a little bit there, and
I'll say the linebackers came up there and made a tip on the ball to kind of misdirection it a little bit and made it hard for the receiver to catch.
got a first quarter score from the Brentwood-Stewart's Creek game. Brentwood up 13-0 with about 2 minutes left in the first quarter. That one probably going to go Brentwood's way. I know they were on our not our coaches preview show, but our Sports Connection show that we do every week. Jeremy and Tate were talking about that one. That one might have the subs in by the second half for Brentwood, so looks like it might be heading that direction.
Yeah, Brentwood's definitely looking strong as they normally are, but 3-0 so far, looking strong, and going to be definitely someone to beat there in their region.
An update on the Franklin-McGavick game. Franklin up 14-7 on McGavick. Pulling for Coach Webb tonight. He needs to get a win. Franklin's not used to being 0-3 at this point in the season, so I'm pulling for Coach Webb and the Rebels to go ahead and get that win versus McGavick tonight.
There we see Brian Coleman, the head coach for the Summit Spartans there, leading his team. Got a 3rd down and 5 here on the Nolensville 30-yard line. Got a little swing out to the right side.
The 25 down there, the 23-yard line.
That's George Odemegwu, and he did pick up the first down.
WCTV crew getting some nice shots of this beautiful sunset in the background here at Nolensville Stadium as lights have come on and heading into nighttime.
Something great. So nothing more, not a lot, much more I like other than Friday Night Football, especially when the weather is this nice.
Yeah.
We've got 2 competitive teams as we've seen so far this evening, and it should be good tales for a fun night of football this evening. Cash with another throw out to the left side there.
That was Danny Jackson on the reception.
Tackle made by Colby Henderson. That's another Summit first down.
With the throwing it across the field there, that was about a 20-yard pass that he had right on the money there.
You see Coach Hester looking good this year. Coach Hester just trying to get this team their first win tonight.
You know, it's interesting that Coach Hester is in the same role as Coleman was with Summit the past about 3 years ago. New team, first full year of varsity football, trying to start a dynasty of their own, if you will. And, you know, what better way to maybe get that first win against Coach Coleman and the Spartans.
Hester no stranger to success either. His time at Ravenwood, he saw a lot of that. So
that's exactly right.
He knows what he's got to do to get them there, and some of it's just them getting into the system and growing up a little bit, and they'll get there.
Second and goal from the 5 for the Spartans, and that's Ty Carter taking the left side in there for 6 for the Spartans.
There we go. Ty Carter just scoots out and give him a little bit of space, and he's gone.
It's going to be his 2nd touchdown in the evening here tonight, Creed. And, you know, as you said earlier, Coach Hester in Nolensville knows what he has to do, but the talent that he has on that sideline there is no slouch. It's just, you know, a little bit of maturation process, and they'll get there.
And they're all coming back next year, and then most of them are coming back the year after that too. So
that's exactly right. Definitely look forward to seeing them in the future. Creed, looks like we got some laundry there on the field.
I remember Coach Hester saying he only had 10 players on his team that could drive right now. So definitely that's the sign of a young team.
Exactly right. It calls for long evenings after practice.
All right, looks like that one might be coming back.
Illegal procedure call.
Looks like a little bit of legal procedure on the Spartan offense. It's a little bit of break there for Nolensville.
Sure, Coach Coleman not happy to see points come off the board. Those are the penalties that you kind of hit you in the gut there when you got to see a touchdown come off the board, but see if we can see it here.
I'm not sure if I saw it there. Might have been a little early movement there by Nick Johnson on the left side.
Yeah.
Something hard to see there for a call for a legal procedure, but nonetheless, it's going to be second down and goal on the 9-yard line. Oh goodness, it tricked me out there too. another double handoff.
Odomegwu with a touchdown there, so Ty Carter just traded off a stat to George, and we move on with life.
I'm sure George will be perfectly fine with that. So, Creed, it's definitely going to be a time for the defensive coordinator there in Nolensville to get with his guys and maybe come up with a game plan to stop this running attack. Me personally, I think I would much rather see Ethan Cash throw the ball.
Sure, yeah.
Rather than Ty Carter and Odomegwu and the rest of the guys there at Summit running the ball.
Might still get you, but make them do it in a way that they're not comfortable doing if you can, right?
Exactly right.
Well, 12 seconds left here in the first quarter, and Summit's up 14-0.
Definitely be interested to see how the offense for Nolensville responds after number one, a long time on the sideline there with the long drive for Summit's offense, but as well as overcoming the red zone turnover that they faced last possession.
Summit not looking ahead in this game by any means. Tons of time left, but their next opponent is Columbia. That's going to be their homecoming game. So I know they're hoping to get there with a 3-1 record.
You know, Columbia Central's another surprise out there in Murray County, 3-0 record so far. Not a lot of people expecting that, but definitely something down there that they are proud of, and those Columbia Lions will be looking forward, I'm sure, for next week's game as well.
I'm not sure who they're playing tonight. I know right now they're 1-0 in the district. They beat Lincoln County. Summit also 1-0 in the district, so that's going to be an important district matchup for Summit next week versus Columbia Central.
Definitely going to have some potential postseason implications there.
Now, I know a couple weeks ago versus Independence, Summit was doing a pooch kick. I'm not sure if that's what they're going with tonight. Of course, when you have TJ Sheffield and Scurry that you're kicking toward, you know, that's dangerous. So
exactly right.
We'll see what strategy they go with here.
Even down 14-14 right now, the Nolensville faithful is getting behind their team, hoping to close out the first quarter with the interesting return here. Going to be fielded at the 5.
Pretty good coverage by someone on that.
Near the 25-yard line. Nolensville takes over 1st and 10. Tackle made by Semanti.
Zach Campbell is still doing the return duties for Nolensville. Coach Hester said he's been proud of his guys this year. You know, even when they do face adversity like they have so far this season, he said his guys are very good about not getting down, you know, keeping good spirits, maybe even more so than the coaches on the sideline. You know, his players are have a real bounce-back mentality, can get over a bad play or even a loss quickly and move on to, you know, the next challenge. So I'm sure he's hoping they can put that into play tonight and get something rolling for him on offense here.
And that's great, too, with a young team. That's hard to find. And that's definitely something that keeps them in ball games. Quarterback Wharton with the fake read.
Brandon Wharton on the keeper.
Looks like he made it back to the line of scrimmage. And then we have triple zeros here at the end of the first quarter. We have the Summit Spartans 14, Nolensville Knights 0. You know, good point going back to what you were saying about the young team. These are guys that are just anxious to learn, and they're hungry to get better. And even with that 0-3 record, each game they have seemed to be kept themselves into it. So
I'd like to draw your attention to the 30-yard line.
That's right.
Where Dr. Harlan is with Wendy Duke and Jordan Walker
is actually
of
against
First
Lawrence
Tennessee
County.
Bank.
that is a district game for them. Currently Lawrence County 1-2 overall, 0-1 in their district. So somebody's going to be getting their first district win next week in the Nolensville versus Lawrence County game.
$2,500 sponsorship.
And looking at that region there, that district, it's pretty tight knit. I mean, the Spring Hill out there at 3-0. Yeah, Maplewood, Marshall County, and Tullahoma all there at 2-1, fighting for that second spot. And that definitely does leave room for Nolensville to make a run and get back into the conversation there.
Sure, and you know, Coach Hester talked about it. Their front half of their schedule is kind of the loaded half of their schedule. Once they, you know, Brentwood's probably going to be a tough game on the September 22nd. But once they get past that, they're more into their district and more into potentially more favorable matchups for them to, you know, pick up some good wins as the season closes out.
That's right, and you know, and even tonight, having a good showing here. I think it's a very, very tough Summit team, as you said. You know, that difficult schedule the first half. Like we mentioned earlier, their losses have not come by much. You know, obviously the Page game had a little bit of difficulties there, and of course Page in itself, they're on a roll right now. But
Coach Hester even joked, whatever the athletic director, whoever the athletic director was that picked this schedule ought to be fired. You know, of course, that's him. But
that's right. So we got a second down and 10 here for the Knights to start off the second quarter. Wharton rolling out to the left.
Maybe a little bit of miscommunication there. Easy for me to say.
Yeah, it looked like it was Wesley Jones there, intended receiver. Maybe fall off to the left there by Brandon, kind of threw off the path for the ball there. But we'll see if maybe they can get some movement in the backfield to maybe confuse the Spartans defense and pick up a positive gain here on 3rd and long on their own 25-yard line. Summit coming with 6 rushers. Pass up the middle, complete to Tim Staceco, breaks the tackle.
Tim Staceco
nice
on
hard
the
run
reception.
after the catch there.
Absolutely. Showing resilience and making it up close to midfield. That's a big, big 3rd down conversion there. Going to bring up the confidence there for the offense.
See a nice rollout by the quarterback here. Just dumps it off. Skaskell has room, and nice block there by.
Looks like that's going to be Wesley Jones there.
Yeah. Skaskell doing the rest down the line. He's a big player for just being a junior.
Yeah, definitely not a slouch by any means. Defense and offense. Kind of a fake handoff pitch to the outside there.
Zach Campbell on the carry.
Looks like number 13 Campbell.
Nice tackle by Samansky there.
Yeah, great job getting that tackle for a loss. Eluding blockers there. Now, I'm no coach, Creed, but it looks like the passing game from Brandon Wharton is working. Maybe put in some play action here and just try to get that strong Summit defense on their toes. And that.
There we go. There we see the dual threat.
Brandon Wharton on the carry out to midfield.
Nature of Brandon Wharton there.
Nolensville. First down.
It's another great read. The linebacker coming off the edge,
first down
able to make the right decision and keep it himself and get a great game to get the Knights a first down.
Update on the Brentwood game. Second quarter, 7:38 left to play in that game. Brentwood up 20-0.
I'm not sure if very many people are surprised with that, but I'm sure we will stay tuned with those scores there.
Flag down on the field.
I'm not sure what the flag is here.
Procedure call again tonight. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty.
Illegal procedure, look like.
You know, this is another thing that we've mentioned before. You know, just things are getting good for the Knights. It's the mental mistakes and that are shooting themselves in the foot here, but only 5 yards. Overcome adversity here and keep it going. So it will be 1st and 15 from the Knights' 45-yard line. Wharton faking the handoff there from shotgun, trying to elude the pressure there, and there's a sack at the 35-yard line.
Let's see who made the tackle. Is it 52?
I believe it was. There was a scandal of white jerseys there.
Zach Claus for Summit. Made a nice tackle there. Orton almost escaped, but he kept him in the clutches and got some help and brought him down.
So with that loss, it's going to be a 2nd and 25 here for the Knights.
Right up the middle there. Update on the Franklin McGavick game. Franklin up 21-7, second quarter.
Definitely good news for them, trying to get their first win of the season here. So that's Pistolka on the carry there. It's going to bring up 3rd and 20. Ward on the offense getting their signals from the sideline there.
My second favorite sight, past the beautiful sunset we had a few minutes ago. Now we see the beautiful hamburger smoke in the air. It's something I look forward to at any football game.
Absolutely. And right at the snap, looks like we have a flag on the play here. Well, you would hate to have another offensive penalty here if you're Nolensville.
Yeah, eliminating those turnovers and penalties is high on Coach Hester's priority. He wants to win the game, but I think at this point he wants them to get better every game too. And getting this kind of stuff down, getting more mature, as a team, and being able to cut the turnovers and penalties out is going to be huge for Nolensville as they move forward.
It looks like it was a delay of game there on the offense. So another 3rd and long here, 25 yards to get first down for the Knights here from their own 35-yard line. And Brandon Warden rolling out to the right. He's pressured, gets the ball out. Looks like he's just throwing it out of bounds there. Good decision there not to force anything, not taking the sack, and also not turning the ball over there downfield as well.
Sure, yep. It's mature decision there by Warden.
It's going to be the first time we see the punt team here for Nolensville. Looks like we have Ethan Shanklin here brought up for the punt.
Can't tell who we have returning back there for Summit. Can find him on the roster here.
Looks like Tavion Hayes there. We got a low rolling punt there. Got a Nolensville Knight bounce, and Hayes decides to let it go.
Hayes a dangerous punt returner. If he gets, I know he's looking to get his hands on one tonight. He was fun to watch in that Indy game. He had a punt return for a touchdown, or a kickoff return for a touchdown, but even almost more impressive was one that ended up not going anywhere because of a penalty. But I think he ran about 200 yards in the play back and forth, making people miss. Reminded me of Dante Hall from the old Chiefs team.
Absolutely. That was actually probably a very smart decision on his part there on that punt, just to let it go. It's going to bring up 1st and 10 from the 25 for the Spartans here. Give to Odomegwu there, and he is stopped behind the line of scrimmage there by the Knights.
Nice tackle.
Looks like that was number 52, Wes Miller, there on the stop, I believe. Bring up 2nd and 14 here for the Spartans.
Home Depot and Uncle Classic Barbershop. Please support these businesses as they are a key partner for the Nolensville High School band.
A good push up front by the linebackers there by Nolensville. See if they keep the middle pressure there and on Summit. And another give to Unmegwa, it looks like here.
Well, 7:45 left. We see the Summit band leaving the stadium over there, going to get themselves prepared for a big halftime show, I'm sure.
It's definitely a good start here this drive for the Knights defense. We think with 3rd and long here, maybe with this much time left, see Cash maybe let loose his fourth pass this evening. Nolensville crowd definitely get behind their defense now as Summit rushes up to the line.
It's that double handoff again, right?
That's what it looked like there. And Nick Johnson started with it.
Swing slogging hop on the carry, fights his way across the 35, near the 30.
Slogging hop that ended up with it, I think.
Looks like that's going to be a Summit first down there.
The first down for the Spartans.
I'm sure Summit's hoping to be able to take, if they are able to get a little bit of a lead, they're not going to, shut everything down. They're looking to work on some stuff that maybe they haven't had the ability to work on against some other teams. Some different looks, maybe some more passes. Coach Coleman's not going to take any of this game for granted. He's going to get as much work in for his guys as he can, and maybe get some guys some looks that haven't seen much time before in an actual game. Nice stop there by Nolensville.
Yeah, Odomego had nowhere to go there.
Wesley Miller on the
Looks
tackle.
like Wes Miller again on the tackle there for the Knights. That was a great stand-up tackle as well.
Here we see it, yep, just meets him right there at the line, and then he really drives him back about an extra 7 yards there.
Looks like he got a little extra work on the sleds this week in
Right.
practice. As you said, though, with Coach Coleman, definitely going to want to work on some extra things, maybe in the second half, but Nolensville's definitely not a team in the second half to take lightly. They've shown us multiple times this season that they maybe more of a second half team, but definitely coming back. Oh goodness, there. Cash had some pressure coming in there from State School, number 80 for the Knights.
It looked like Christian Jolly there that had the ball in his hands, just couldn't quite reel it in. Maybe took a peek before he really had control of it there.
Yeah, and quite frankly, if he had held on to that, he had nothing but green grass in front of him. Big 3rd down here for the Knights defense. Summit changes out some assignments here, getting the right guys in. 3rd down and 10 from the 36 here. Cash dropping back to pass, looking over the middle. Goodness gracious, what a catch there by number 3, John Casey.
A great snag in traffic. Managed to come down with the ball, and nice completion for Cash.
I was going to say, for someone who doesn't throw the ball very much, it looks like he's been throwing that pass his whole life.
That's the thing. He might not throw much, but when he does throw, the ball seems to be on target. Here we see the replay of it. That's a nice looking ball that he throws, and a really nice reception there.
Yeah.
Being able to hang on to that thing in traffic.
Great job getting 2 hands on the ball with 2 defenders there, taking him down. Yeah, that ball was about a 24-yard pass and right on the line too. Just a bullet coming out of Cash's hand.
Yep. Nice reception by Casey.
Looks like we have Robert Holmes there on the carry on the right side for a 4.5-yard gain there for Summit. Looks like a great mix of run pass here on this drive for Summit. Another thing to keep in mind with this young Nolensville team, not a lot of depth. Strictly, mainly only playing sophomores and juniors. We'll see how that plays effect with their defense and getting guys breathers coming in as substitutes.
Nice tackle there. That was 63.
Schlagenhoff on the carry.
Schlagenhoff again on the carry there.
Yoshihara with the tackle.
Yoshihara on the stop. Gain of a yard on the play to bring a 3rd down and 7.
Student section going crazy down here for Nolensville.
I think they are just as aware as that sideline. This is a big 3rd down here as first half is getting about 4.5 minutes left here. Big 3rd down if Nolensville wants to get that ball one more time before halftime.
Quite an eruption from the student section there a second ago.
Third down and 6. We had a timeout on the play here.
Timeout is requested and granted to Summit.
Summit with timeout, yeah. Speaking of Summit, some big names that they don't have back with them this year. Dalton Fisher, Tyler Palmer, Christian Snyder, Michael Zakreski, Tommy Smith, and Seth Knott. everybody's kind of finding the way that they fill in to replace those guys, you know, to see who can fill the big minutes and step up, you know, from a leadership role as well for some of those guys.
That's right, and those guys were a key role, and they played into getting Summit to 7-4 record, there after their playoff loss, but their first trip to the playoffs. Big moment for them last year, and they're, as Coleman said, they're looking to gain on that and possibly host a playoff game this year.
Of course, the key players that Nolensville lost last year, nobody.
That is correct. That's correct, and you know, granted, not necessarily a bad thing either. So as Summit took some time to go over a game plan here on this third down. See what they come up with here. Tossing left to Ty Carter. Excuse me, that is George Onomeglu, and he is stopped there.
Miller on the tackle.
Interesting decision here for Coach Coleman. Kind of in that range where you think they probably will go for it. It'll be a long field goal.
Once again, number 52, Wes Miller, in on the tackle there. Yeah, Creed, I don't see a field goal being kicked here by Summit. Coleman's definitely going to.
They've had pretty good success getting 4 or 5, or 2 or 3 yards, especially when they need to as well. Oh, and it's like they're not going to have to do much work at all for it.
Almost looks like their game plan was try to do exactly what they just did and get the Knights on offsides there.
And that's that maturity again. Those guys will learn. Can't hop off there.
Penalty against the Knights. That yields a first down for this part.
That is their third or fourth penalty there to help the Summit offense.
Got an update from the Ravenwood-Page game. Ravenwood up 20-7 second quarter. I don't have a time on that.
Oh, wow, that's definitely one on paper that should be a good game. Oh, pass over the middle there by Cash. Kristen Jolly there over the middle.
Touchdown.
2 good catches by Jolly in this drive down the field.
Absolutely, and over the the linebacker Staples' head there. Another great pass by Ethan Cash. So with the extra point due up here, that puts Summit in a good position here late in the first half.
Walking up, kick is up, and good.
Extra point good. That's going to be 21-0 Summit with 3 minutes and 24 seconds left here in the first half.
Summit enjoying running their flags over there on their side. They did do the rude run by, so no bad spirit flag running yet tonight. Like we saw a little bit of that in the Summit Independence game.
Good sportsmanship always needed here with the replay here on this touchdown pass here by Cash. Little bootleg over there to the right.
Onomeglu looked like he was open as well, and Cash had a variety of options there on that play.
Tim Kutras there trying to extend himself to knock that ball down, just wasn't able to. Again, just another precision throw there by Cash. So with just under 3.5 minutes here in the first half here, Creed, definitely plenty of time for Nolensville to get some points up on the board and get some momentum going into the locker room here.
Starting to cool down a little bit here tonight. So Coach Coleman has the pullover on. So sun's gone, gun's gone, I guess.
See what Summit decides to do here, if they're gonna kick it away or maybe do a little pooch.
Back into receive, Courage Campbell.
.324 left in the second quarter. Looks like someone's going to keep kicking it away till they prove that they need to do otherwise.
Looks like that's Campbell on the return there. Trying to swing it out wide, going across the field. He was stopped short of the 20 there.
Nice tackle there by Matt Szymanski.
Be interested to see how Coach Hester, what he draws up here in this 2-minute offense, so to speak, here. Again, trying to get some momentum into the locker room, get these points on the board for the Knights.
That's right. Coach Hester, I'm sure, will go in and have a talk for him at halftime. One of the funnier things I ever heard Coach Hester say was a couple years ago, I think when he was at Ravenwood, but how he would go in the locker room at halftime and tell his players how much he loved them, you know, and in his own special way that he could do. So he might have a halftime speech to get these guys fired up in the second half.
Did a run with no gain there on first down, so it's going to bring up 2nd and 10 for the Knights here on their own 18-yard line. Brandon Wharton swing pass out to the left side.
Zach Campbell on the reception.
Looked like Zach Campbell there may be able to get to the back to the line of scrimmage.
Tackle made by Tavion Hayes.
Tavion Hayes in there for the tackle. First time bringing up his name there tonight on defense.
Mm-hmm. Yep, another guy that does double duty. Triple duty, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Offense, defense, special teams. Just another point of how many athletes that Coach Coleman has there on the Summit sideline. 3rd and long here for the Knights. Wharton rolling out to the right.
Campbell on the reception, goes out of bounds. Up
Finds
to the
Campbell there,
line.
run out of bounds. Looks like it's going to move the chains.
First down.
He and Campbell seem to have a good chemistry together. I think that's been his favorite target tonight.
And he's another one of those that shows off that speed factor that Nolensville has. As we have the replay here, just another little flat route, and was able to get a little lane on the sidelines and get that first down and to stop the clock out of bounds. 2 minutes left to go in the first half. Hand off up the middle here.
It's a nice stop there, initially filling the hole there by number 25. That's Robert Holmes, it looked like.
They're still not able to get a lane there from the offensive line in this play. Summit's front 7 there able to clog that hole up.
Looks like Nolensville going to go down into the half down here, but even any kind of score here would give a little momentum going into that halftime. And it would be huge for Nolensville, to just get their spirits up, go into the locker room, have a good talk with Coach Hester, and then come back out ready to play the second half.
Absolutely, momentum's everything, especially for a young team. And speaking of momentum, there another swing pass there to Carter. Excuse me, that's Zach Campbell for another first down for the Knights. Now clock is rolling here. Kind of interesting. With 3 timeouts, Nolensville hasn't used one yet, but I'm sure Hester has something up his sleeve here. Great play action pass.
Statesville on the reception.
Going to be completed
down inside
over the middle. It's number 80 Statesville there.
Big number 80 again coming
Nick
through.
Johnson on the tackle.
It's like one of the most physical players that Nolensville has on their team.
With a flag on the field.
And definitely going to be somebody that Coach Hester's looking for a leader role, being a junior.
Unfortunately for Nolensville, this is coming back, illegible receiver downfield. That hurts.
It's definitely something that don't want to see if you're on that Nolensville Knights sideline.
Yep.
But with the momentum that they do have on this drive, maybe they can make up for it here on 1st and 10 on the 38. Excuse me, that's going to be 1st and 15 with that ineligible receiver. Another rollout play by Wharton.
Statesville on the reception.
Goes right back to him.
There's number 80. It's
Tackle
same play.
By Chandler Alexander.
A little bit longer.
That's enough.
Same idea there for another first down for the Knights. Showing a little hurry up.
Seems like Wharton feels very comfortable with Campbell and with Stay School. Finding them. Probably the first 2 guys he looks for, it seems like, as he's kind of running around back there.
Absolutely, with Campbell able to use his speed to get space and
Stay School's size.
Exactly, his strength to get space. And looks like we had a little bit of movement there on the outside from the Knights. Wesley Jones moving a little early there, maybe getting excited going downfield, getting that getting that long opportunity there.
That feels like that old 2 steps forward, 1 step back, saying.
So another 1st and 15 here. Wharton rolling out to the left. Finds number 80, Statesville again, coming across the flat.
Another good game, and some physicality again by Statesville after he catches it. Able to keep pushing through for a couple extra yards after the contact's made.
Brandon Wharton's definitely showing off his ability to throw off the run. Definitely feeling comfortable with it and keeping the linebacking core from Summit guessing.
Hard to be accurate with those passes too while you're running, and he seems to be doing a good job of it.
So they gained 11 on that play. Here on 2nd and 4, Wharton.
Incomplete.
Might have thrown that one away, just in a little bit of trouble back there.
Forced out of the pocket, but yet another mature decision to throw that ball into the ground to an eligible receiver without getting that stop.
Brett Favre sidearm throwaway there.
So the clock stopped at 20 seconds here in the first half. The Knights have a 3rd down and 4 on the Summit 39-yard line here.
Worth noting they do have all 3 timeouts still too.
Yeah, absolutely, and that might be part of their strategy here to closing out the first half. Trying to get down there and save them up. Once again, Wharton on the run.
Intercepted, it was caught. I don't know if he was in bounds when he caught it or not. Looks like he was out.
Looks like our officials are saying that he was out of bounds. And that was Jacob Douglas there on the coverage.
He can't believe it. He's got his hands up on his head. I guess he thought he got his feet in. I guess we'll see right here though.
Looks like Wharton kind of forced that one in there.
Hard to tell on the replay there. Had a little couldn't see the sideline because the player's standing there, but it was close.
Yeah, his momentum kind of took him out of bounds, but nonetheless, it was a great defensive play and took 7 seconds more off the clock here. And the Knights with 4th down and 4 here, trying to keep this drive going and get some points on the board here to close out the half. Have a fake give up the middle and the pitch out to Campbell.
Looks like they'll get at least one more
Campbell
play.
on the carry, fights his way inside the 30.
Campbell showing off that speed, getting around the outside.
For another
Blocking
1st
there
and 15, Nolensville,
on the
1st
outside
down.
by Tim Kutras there, one of the wide receivers for the Knights.
Got out of bounds, so they still don't have to use one of those timeouts. I think looks like they're going to anyway to set something up. The nice pitch here, and Campbell just turning on the speed, going around the corner.
Now with 5 seconds left here, it looks like Coach Hesser's going to send out his kicker, Luke Jenkins.
It's about a
41, 42-yard.
Pretty good distance for a field goal there.
See what kind of leg this kid has. He is only a sophomore, so.
You got a sophomore kicking 40-yarders. That's a good thing for you. So we'll see what they can do here.
Definitely has the confidence in him. This brisk, clear skies, brisk evening here tonight. Not much wind, so he should have a pretty true kick here.
This is Luke Jenkins on the kick.
Good snap, good hold. And the kick is good.
Gives the Nolensville crowd a little something to cheer about going into halftime.
Absolutely, and that's something big. Hey, points are points. And
so at the half, the score,
definitely good momentum for the Knights going into the locker room here, starting at halftime here.
So yeah, at our halftime score, sum it up 21-3, and we'll be back here with the WCTV Game of the Week for the second half right after this.
Hi, and welcome to our Pet of the Week segment for cats. I've got a little kitten here whose name is Bo. He's about 7 weeks old. He's an example of the many, many kittens that we have here right now at Williamson County Animal Center. I counted this morning, and there are about 50 in our adoption area, and there are also about 70 adult cats. So we are at what we call cat capacity over here, and we have waived all the adoption fees on both the cats and kittens until this overcrowding is solved. We have kittens of every size and shape. This one's one of the tiniest ones we have for adoption. Doesn't even weigh enough yet to be spayed or neutered, so there would be a requirement for a deposit to be made for you to bring it back for the surgery. But we also have a number of kittens that are 5 and 6 months old, which is a great age to start out with a kitten and socialize, and they love to play. So I advise you to come over here to the shelter if you've ever thought about adopting a kitten. Please come over here today and see the many kittens that we have. This is the result of what we called kitten season back in June, when we had about 300 in a month come in as newborns. They've been bottle fed, and now they're all old enough to be adopted. So they've all come back, and we're overcrowded again. So we could use your help. If you've ever thought about adopting a cat or kitten, come on over to the Williamson County Animal Center. Hi, this is Sheba. She's a 7-year-old, which is considered in some ways an adult dog or even a senior dog. Sheba was surrendered to us. The owner could no longer keep her, and that's the kind of animals that we take in here at the shelter and find them homes. Sheba is part Spitz, and she's a red Spitz, which is normally you see the white color more. She had a couple little skin issues here that we're working on, but Sheba is housebroken, and she's sweet as she could be. She's just been playing in our play yard before we taped this segment. She loves to run. She would need a place where she could play, and she is known to be good with cats, according to the previous owner, but maybe not so good with kids. So consider that if you come by to look at Sheba. We have about 30 dogs available for adoption right now at the Williamson County Animal Center, and I hope you'll come by and see them. They're all shapes and sizes, and we can find something to meet your needs and your circumstances. So come see us sometime, and please adopt, don't shop.
Welcome back here at Nolensville High School. Going to start the second half here with Summit leading 21-3. Had a little bit of momentum from the Knights there, Creed, ending out the first half with a field goal. About a 40-plus yard field goal there.
Yeah, nice little boost going into halftime for Coach Hester and the Nolensville Knights. I tell you one thing, during halftime, this Nolensville crowd was pumped up about their band out on the field. This is their first season to dress and do all the band stuff, so they were excited. It was a cool show too.
That's right. First year marching had a little bit of a different approach there. A little bit of lights and a little bit of dance routine there. Had this crowd pumped up, and with Nolensville getting the ball first here, everyone excited to get something started and get back in this game.
It's always a nice, our camera guys and everybody take a break during the halftime, but it's always a nice little show for us to get to see those two great bands. All the Williamson County schools have great bands. Summit's was fantastic as well, and so it's just a nice little break to get to kind of chill and watch those guys, the bands, do their thing.
Exactly.
See us there on the screen, Creed Henderson, Parker Hazard, happy to be bringing to the game tonight.
Yes, sir. Beautiful night. The sleeves are out. Cooled off a little bit, but again, that's a good time of year for football now. We got the weather involved.
Nolensville to receive to start the second half.
Nolensville cheerleaders are tossing
number 10,
something into the stands.
Connor Kerr, and 13, Zach
shirts,
Campbell.
I don't know what it is. Maybe a combination of both.
On the kick, number 35, Quinn
no one gets
Morgenhoff.
hurt, that's all that matters.
For the Spartans.
Some of those cheerleaders have a good arm now. You'll see the little footballs make it up into the upper deck.
Some powder puff hopefuls maybe in a couple years. Homecoming week.
Sure.
So Summit's going to be kicking off the Nolensville here. I'd like to see their offense keep going the way, especially the last drive that they had, but maybe without mental errors and offensive penalties.
Yeah, you want to see Nolensville put a drive together right here if you're Coach Hester and the Knights fans that doesn't have penalties or a turnover at the end of it. And if they can do that, I feel like they're right back in this thing.
Zach Campbell going to receive the kick here.
He's been doing a lot of work for the Knights tonight.
Almost breaking free of
Campbell
two
fights his
tackles
head
there.
way ahead to the 28-yard line. 1st and 10 Knights.
So Knowles is going to start from the 28-yard line here. First drive of the second
Peyton
half.
Craig on the tackle for the Spartans.
Well,
Just a reminder, after the
second,
game, there'll be a
second half, I'll try
bonfire
to
at
get some more
Outlanders.
updates for the other games
Head
going
on
around the
by
county.
on your way
The
home.
Ravenwood-Page game, third quarter, Ravenwood up 23-14. So Page making up a little bit of ground in that game.
That's right. And that's another gritty young team out there at Page, and strong Ravenwood team they have over there
Page
as well.
is trying to stay out of that loss column, so they're fighting.
First down give here. Over the right side, breaking free.
Ryan Pistolka on the carry out across the 45-yard line. That's enough for another Nolensville first down.
Shading off a couple of would-be tackles there for
Tackle
Summit.
made by 33, Braden Stem. That's the
Taking
first
care of
Tennessee
business.
first down for your
Fourth
Nolensville
quarter,
Knights.
We got a running clock, 41-0 Kirkwood over Stewart's Creek. So that one's going to wrap up probably before all the rest of these games do tonight. You got to be up 35, get that clock running, and once it hits 35, man, the game just melts away. So
I think that's something good that they've added to keep that running clock going. Run up the middle here.
Pistolka on the carry,
first down.
finds his way near midfield to
Pistolka
stop
again,
just
maybe a
shy.
gain of 1.
Second down and 7.
It's a great run there
Robert Holmes on the
on
tackle.
second down there for Nolensville, getting it up to midfield. Kind of getting Summit looking around, maybe trying to get something going here on offense. Looks like a little bit of miscommunication there on the
Brandon Wharton on the
handoff.
carry.
Made something about
Across
it.
the 45 down near the 44-yard line.
Might be a little busted play, but that's a nice thing about having a dual threat quarterback. Is,
Zach Qualls on
tuck
the
it
tackle.
run and make something happen out of nothing.
Improvisation is key with the dual threat quarterback.
Going back to our scoreboard app here, we see Franklin up 28-7 on McGavick. So Coach Webb got to have a smile on his face right now. About 10-15 left in the third quarter on that one.
Definitely wanting to get out of that loss, get into the win column there over at Franklin. So got a third down and inches here for the Knights. With the push.
Pistolka moves the pile down near the 40. That's enough for another Nolensville first down.
Pushing him across.
The first Tennessee first down for your Nolensville Knights.
First and 10.
Tackle made by Qualls.
Independence team showing they're no slouch. 42-14 over Hillsboro. It tells you how good this Summit team is, to beat that Independence team and then see Independence doing this to somebody else with as many athletes as Hillsboro has.
Yeah, absolutely. The athletes on both sides of the field there and the wide receiver threats and talent that Independence has definitely shows.
Stoppage
They can
of
put points
play.
up in a hurry.
That and how well Summit's defense and secondary was able to handle them as well. Yeah,
Coach Coleman mentioned, other than one slip that Carter had where they scored on him, pretty much shut down the rest of the night anytime they went in his direction.
Kutris on the end around.
There's Kutris.
Tackle made by Szymanski.
Gonna have a good solid game there. Szymanski in for the tackle. So you see the read option there on the right side. Able to shed a tackler there.
Nice little kind of swat away.
So it's going to bring up second down here on the Spartan 39-yard line. Low snap there. Wharton able to recover. Got a reverse.
A little bit of trickery there, running right toward our camera.
Kutris on the reverse.
Get out of the way of that one. Nice
Ball will
play
be
call
spotted
there
down
from,
near
Coach
the
Hester.
25-yard line. That's enough for another Nolensville first down.
First down run.
The first Tennessee first down
We've
for
had some
Nolensville
run-ins
Knights.
with the tripod and the cameraman where the tripod didn't fare so well before, so I appreciate Max taking care of my equipment there.
As you see here, that reverse play caught everybody on the Summit defense off guard there. first down give to Pistolka, and he is going to be taken down there. That's number 52 there for
Claus
Summit.
breaks through and makes a tackle in the backfield on Pistolka.
Able to penetrate the front line of Nolensville there and get that loss.
There's Max the hero, saving the equipment. And we appreciate it, Max. Those tripods are not cheap.
Hat on the swivel there, Max. Good job, buddy.
Appreciate all the WC2 interns who are out here working tonight. We got Max and Noah down on the sidelines. I'm sure we're going to look at Noah later on. And up here up top with us, we got Jack and Sam. And we can't forget Lance and Michael in the truck either.
Absolutely. Wouldn't get this great coverage without those guys.
Nice little spin move there.
Pistolka on the carry. Fights his way down near the 15-yard line.
A lot of carries here this first half of the second half. Looks like he's going to get off and get a breather, but a great second down run there. It's going to bring up 3rd and short for the Knights.
Summit.
I'm out Summit. I guess they're gonna try to get themselves collected and stop this little drive that Nolensville put together here.
Absolutely, as we saw there, Nolensville keeping the motion going in the backfield there, keeping the defense guessing, and again, Pistolka having that power run game for them, able to shed blockers and get a nice solid game, bring up a 3rd and short here.
Landed right there in the soccer penalty kick area, right? See that nice spin move again here. Whoop. Yeah, that was pretty.
Yeah, able to shove defenders off and have a resilient run here. See Summit's defense over there gathering their thoughts and game plan to come out here and try to get a big 3rd down stop here.
And Nolensville needs another playmaker to come through. You know, we've seen a lot of Staskell in the first half. We saw a lot of Campbell in the first half. We even saw, who was it?
Wesley Jones was in. Didn't get much
right.
targets, but he was definitely a key on the outside perimeter with blocking on these run plays. 3rd down, looking for a fade in the end zone.
Another one that was caught by Summit, but
incomplete out of bounds. It's going to bring up 4th and 1.
Nolensville's got a little lucky on 2 interceptions that have both been just out of bounds.
And that one right there, that's a great heads-up play there by State School by pushing the defender out of bounds, ensuring they would not end up inbounds there. That was a great heads-up play. And you were mentioning the key players here. You know, with Dooley being absent tonight, we with Pistolka is carrying the load. Excuse me.
We see that. Yeah.
Boy, he didn't miss by much.
It's a little bit outside. It's a nice grab by the Summit right there.
I believe that was number 4, Matt Szymanski there. So on 4th down,
Pistolka met in the backfield and dropped.
Nice
Ball was thrown down. First down, Summit.
That ISO play going in the middle with Pistolka there. And
unfortunately for Nolensville, another missed opportunity. You know, right down there, kind of inside the red zone, and not able to get any, not now to get a touchdown or even any points out of it this time. So,
yeah, Summit wasn't having any of that up the middle. They stacked up the box there with 8 guys, and we're not going to let them get that first down.
On the flip side, good resolve by Summit. You know, they came out, they got pushed back a little bit in this first half, and they didn't, you know.
Definitely didn't fold.
No.
See Ty Carter there.
Ty Carter on the carry, forced out of bounds by Cooper.
Looks like a gain of 3.
Once again, our cameraman Max getting a workout on that 20-yard line on the sideline there. Another move and dodge from Max, moving that tripod. And some nice moves by our camera guy.
Definitely know he's keep his head in the game for sure.
Down and 7.
So after a gain of 3 there, it's going to be a 2nd down and 7 for the Spartans.
We saw Ty Carter run there. He seemed like he didn't get many touches in that second quarter. We saw him a lot in the first quarter. So good to see him getting some more touches again in the third quarter.
Great penetration.
Odomegwu met in the backfield.
Able to stop Odomegwu there on the little toss sweep to the right. I'm not sure who made that tackle there.
Miller on that last tackle.
A few, it sounded like it was Wes Miller there.
3rd down. 6.
Again, one more tackle by Miller. We've called his name a lot. He's definitely been a key component to that linebacking core for Nolensville. So two good stops in the first 2 plays of this drive by the Nolensville defense, bringing up 3rd down for Summit. And with some
Pass
pressure there by the
is
front of
incomplete.
Nolensville,
That's going to bring up
it's gonna be
4th down
incomplete
and
pass
6.
there. Intended for John Casey there.
Yeah, Cash a little off target there. We've seen him, more accurate tonight. That one seemed a little low on the pass.
A little bit rust. I think if maybe he had another split second, he might have been able to pull that one in for a good pass. But nonetheless, first time for the punting unit for Summit on the field. Looks like Campbell's going to let that bounce out of bounds there, just short of the 50-yard line.
Punt's going to roll out of bounds at the 46-yard line. 1st and 10
up like the front half of their drive on the last series and maybe finish it out this time.
We're really going to want to see how, and maybe if they made any adjustments after that first drive to see what got them down the field and what stopped them, maybe changed up a little bit and getting that end zone for 6 points.
Another update here for you, Parker. Cane Ridge over Centennial right now in the 3rd quarter, 21-6. Coach Kreisky probably trying to rally the troops there and get something going for Centennial. I think they called that a catch and a drop.
I believe they're waving it off now, Creed. I was going to say, didn't look like Campbell had possession of the ball as he was coming down with it.
Didn't hear a whistle to stop play, though, so they let him go after it.
Well, that just shows that Summit was playing till they heard the whistle, just like Coach always says.
We see it on the replay. Yeah, it didn't look like he didn't make a football move, as they say. I don't think so.
That's going to bring up a 2nd down here.
He made the kind of move I would make if I got one thrown at me, which is just straight through the hands.
Hey, you never know, mate. These the Summit secondary, known to lay some hits. Who knows? They're here for 2nd down here on the 46 of Summit. Wharton's pressured on the back of the pocket there and just throwing a desperation shot. Luckily it's not picked off there.
Dangerous on that one. Showing a 2nd quarter score from Fairview Waverly, 28-21, Fairview up.
Sounds like a barn burner right there. There in the coverage was Chandler Alexander for Summit. Good coverage there. So bring up 3rd down here for the Knights. Wharton's going to look over the middle. He has Campbell.
Complete to Campbell.
Down.
Moving the chain. Nice completion there for Wharton to Campbell again.
That's enough for another Nolensville Knights. 1st down.
It was Nick Johnson laying the
First down for Nolensville Knights. Nick Johnson on the tackle.
It was a good throw by Wharton there, kind of throwing it a little bit behind the receiver to hopefully negate a hit, but nonetheless it was complete. And the chains are moving and the drive is still going.
A little bit of confusion on the Nolensville offense here. Where everybody's supposed to be lined up at.
It almost looked like it was a
Brandon Wharton fights his way inside the 30 down to the
like
28-yard line.
Going to go for a little screen pass there, but nonetheless, that dual threat.
That's right. Able to make something happen when things break down. Still able to create something out of nothing here. So.
You see there, good blocking up front by Nolensville. And 2nd down to short here on the 28 of Summit. Wharton looking over to the right. He has Kutris. A little curl route there.
Pass complete to Kutris, forced out of bounds.
It's going to be close to a first down
number
here.
4,
I can't tell where they're going to mark it.
Yeah, we haven't seen the chain gang come out and do any work yet tonight, but.
Judging by the linesman, it looks like they're going to mark it just short.
Getting a chuckle. Max once again saw a player come up to his tripod. And
you have to get him a helmet.
I know, he's getting a workout down there.
Call is ineligible receiver downfield for the Knights.
Oh, goodness grief.
Got a penalty going.
That's the 2nd ineligible receiver penalty that Nolensville has been charged with tonight. Can't stress enough about the penalties and the offensive mistakes and just
Coach Hester got to be losing his mind a little bit down there, you know, to keep having this nice progress made and then having it come back on silly little penalties.
Good little play action play there.
State School on the reception.
State School able to watch that ball in.
Samansky on the tackle. That's enough for another Nolensville night.
They're making completions. They're doing a good job with these little, you know, dinks and dunks and able to pick up first downs and move down the field. It's just a matter of can they finish, you know, one of these drives.
Absolutely. That was a great fake there by Warden. Drew in 2 of the Summit linebackers, and State School kind of playing a tight end role there, coming out in the flat. And able to watch that ball in for a first down for the Knights here.
Again, nice physicality by State School at the end of that play too. You know, just getting the extra yard, not going out. You know, easy. Ooh, a slip there.
Pass is
like
incomplete. 2nd and 10.
So Wes Jones there, the intended receiver there, trying to adjust to that ball down there. But yeah, going back to your point. Yeah, Nolensville's been able to move the ball. It just goes back to the young lineup, the young team that Nolensville has, and Coach Hester knows that, and he's been one to encourage and obviously, you know, coach his guys in and get them back in and keep the ball rolling, so to speak. And from the looks of it,
Stalker fights his way down near the 15-yard line.
On a hard run up the middle, on the right tackle.
Tackle made by Douglas.
Doing a nice job, you know, filling in for Brandon or
Colton Dooley. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Third down, 4 yards to go.
He kind of has the physicality as Summit's Odemegwu does as well. Just kind of the power guy, able to keep those feet churning. So he was able to pick up 6 there. So we have 3rd down and 4. Looks like that's Pistolka again up the middle. Not going to be enough. Not going to be enough for
down near the 13
for the first down. What do you do here if you're Coach Hester in the Mills offense here?
Well, you want the 7, but you might take any kind of points you can get at this point. I'm not sure. We saw they have a pretty good field goal kicker.
You know,
but I'm sure he's wanting to see 10 up on that board in this 3rd quarter.
Sure, absolutely, and also with this, you know, say they don't make it, that's still keeping Summit with bad field position. Their defense, they've been on the sideline a good bit of time with this long drive here, but definitely want to see what they can come up with. Looks like a design quarterback keeper.
Brandon Wharton on the carry inside the 10, down near the 6-yard line. That's enough for another Nolensville. First down. The first Tennessee first down for Nolensville Knights.
Keep it going on 4th down paid off.
That's right. I know I watched that Georgia Tech Tennessee
game
last week, and there you saw a quarterback who was able to run almost at will in Tennessee at times. And you know how key that is. When you have a quarterback that can run that way, you get the extra blocker, and you know getting an important, crucial 4th down. They were able to make it happen there.
And as we saw in that replay there, it definitely looked like Georgia Tech's Marshall there as Warden was able to come off the tackle on the right side and had a good block by number 80. Once again, Luke State School able to make plays happen with and without the ball.
Stalk on the carry inside the 5-yard line. We'll mark him near the 4. Pick up a 2. Second down goal to go from the 4. Abram Red on the tackle.
In the red zone again, and they're wanting to score just like Coach Hester is. So.
Absolutely. They're for sure behind their team out there tonight, and I'm sure that's what those kids out there are going to want to hear. So here was 2nd and goal. Warden deciding to put the ball back down.
Brandon Wharton on the carry down near the 2-yard line.
They're knocking at the door here. I think you might see Wharton again.
You know,
Douglas on the top.
Judging by that last play, it looked like it was supposed to be a pass. And we'll see here with the replay. Didn't look like his option was there for him, his first read, so he was able to take it himself. If I'm Nolensville, I would think that Summit is expecting him to run, so we'll see. We've got about 2 yards here to gain to get to pay dirt, so we'll see what they come up with. Got Campbell in motion here.
big defensive play there by that's Christian Jolly.
Morton brought down in the backfield. Let's bring up 4th down and goal to go.
Yeah, it's definitely a broken play. I don't know what the plan was there, but the penetration there from the linebacking core for Summit just blew everything up, and I know Coach Coleman is happy to see that.
Yeah, I don't know who we don't know what they have in their playbook or not if you're on Nolensville, but you'd like to see big number 80 somewhere in the corner of an end zone possibly. He's a pretty tall 6'3", 6'4" player.
Touchdown.
Touchdown brought to you by Vanderbilt.
That was definitely Zach Campbell. He was in there. He's been anxious to get in that end zone. He's been all over the field tonight.
Zach Campbell on the
Very
reception.
good game, and just got a lot better.
So pending extra point here.
Well, that is what this Nolensville crowd wanted. They've been waiting
Jenkins
for
on
the
the kick.
touchdown, and they finally
Here was
got
a
it.
hold.
The all-important extra point here.
Kick is up and good.
He's good.
2:03 remaining in the third, and the score, Nolensville 10,
2 minutes left.
Summit 21.
Plenty of time to go if you're Nolensville. That's not a concern at this point. What you wanted to see them get that first score to have a chance to get back into this game.
For sure.
Get their own spirits back up. Here we see the replay. Another little rollout.
That's right. You had Campbell and Stayskool both in the slot, kind of running that out. Stayskool was kind of a little bit deeper in the end zone, but.
And it looked like Jatavion Hayes just got beat on his coverage there. And he's not a slow defender. That's a good.
If you get
good
an opportunity,
route,
please
good
visit
job
the
by,
swag wagon down behind the concession stand. Pick up your spirit wear for your Nolensville night.
And if you're Nolensville down there, especially the coaching staff, you have to be pleased with.
Another reminder of that bonfire this evening after the contest at Outlanders.
And with this last one scoring, and the way that their defense has looked on Summit's first drive as well.
Yeah, and you got to think they're 1 yard away from having another touchdown, and Summit scored on that that turnover. They drove it all the way down the field and scored. Nolensville's winning this game if you take those two things away. So it is still very close.
And I'm sure that was probably something Coach Hester
Weldon and
mentioned
Hayes
in the
back
locker
into
room,
receive.
but something that they got to put behind them and do exactly what they're doing now. Focus on the here and now, and we have ourselves an interesting football game coming in here tonight, Creed. Luke Jenkins going to have a little pooch there, and it's definitely not something that.
Not exactly where we want to kick it, but
Kick goes out of bounds. Ball will be spotted.
That's just another one of those mistakes, one of the help
35-yard line.
other team out that they're doing, but we'll see if their defense can answer the bell.
if you're Coach Coleman here, this is where you don't want to. You need to go ahead and answer
First
what just happened. Nolensville scored. You don't want to let them get that hope and that confidence going. So I'm sure Coach Coleman here is wanting to go ahead and put his answer on the board and maybe deflate this Nolensville sideline. I see some fireworks going on out here.
All right. So you see Ty Carter back on the field. So you definitely think that they're going to want to get some yards here as he pushes for about 5.
Carter on the carry.
He's definitely they're a high octane back and
Gilchrist on the
very
tackle.
physical and one of the guys that's going to
Gain a
produce
5
their yards
play.
and
Second down
points.
and 5.
Explosive. That's what I would call him. He gets shot out of there sometimes, and it's like, okay, well, there he goes.
So second down here. But the players on the Nolensville sideline pumped and excited.
That's right. Yeah.
Carter on the carry. Gets
They're
across
up.
the
You
40
see
down
good
to
body
the
language from the
43-yard
Nolensville
line.
team, and I'm sure Coach Hester is happy about that.
Down and never out. That's always a good attitude to
Gilchrist
have.
sets that along and on the stop.
Got a third down here.
See if Nolensville's front 7 could get a good push here on Summit's offensive line. Maybe see if Hutchison some guys into motion there in the backfield to change some things up. We'll see here.
I don't know who is doing the fireworks show in the background. It's
Carter on the carry across the 45 up to the
It might
47-yard line.
It might be the
That's gonna be enough for
Nolensville.
another Summit
After
first
the
down.
touchdown, have their own little fireworks celebration after a score. But nonetheless, they're going to have to wait for another one as the Summit is moving the chains.
Dan Rickard in on the stop.
There's definitely something to note there as you see that Nolensville faithful is behind this team.
That's right. It's Ty Carter.
Ty Carter on the carry crosses midfield.
Plowing ahead for what might be another first down. He's close to it at least.
Had a good blocking by the right guard there for Summit on the outside on Luke Stayskool there.
Spotted at the 44. McWilliams held his tackle.
Excuse me, that's Tim Stayskool. I apologize. So we have second down and 1 here on the 44. A little bit of movement up front.
Flag down on the field.
I believe that's going to be Nolensville moving a little bit early.
Ball start against the Knights. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's another free 5 yards for Summit, and that's going to be another first down. Again.
Old scoreboard app here. Franklin continues to roll on McGavick, 31-7, end of the third quarter in that game.
And just as the chains are moved.
And that will conclude the third quarter with a score. Summit 21, Nolensville 10.
So with Summit driving, we have a 21-10 lead. The Spartans over the Knights going into the fourth quarter. Creed, there's still 12 minutes of football left. A lot can happen, and we just hope that the defense for the Knights can stay mistake-free and get off the field and get their offense back on the field without Summit scoring any more points.
That's right, and you know, if put something together to stop, then they are really right back in this game. For anybody who's wondering about when they can watch this game on WCTV, we play it tonight at midnight. It's a replay tonight, Friday at midnight. It'll be on Saturday and Sunday at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. And then we always replay it again for 3 rotations on Wednesday at 9 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m. So lots of chances to catch this action. If you missed it live and you weren't out here, and we put it on for all the people in Williamson County to watch and hopefully enjoy. Suffer through my commentating. You're doing a great job tonight, Parker. But
I'm enjoying it. It's definitely something that I'm very happy to do, and be back out here and watch a very competitive football game here as Odemegwu going on the outside, able to stay on his feet.
Odemegwu on the carry.
Tough run, just dragging people along with him on that one.
McWilliams.
It's going to be another first down for the Spartans there.
He's tough to tackle in the open field. You know, you're not just going to do it with a hand on him. He's got to wrap him up to bring him down, and he likes just kind of running through these arm tackles.
The Spartans are going to have first down and 10 on the Knight 27-yard line. A little bit of pitch to the left to Odemegwu.
Odemegwu on the carry.
Able to get some positive yardage there around the 21, 20-yard line on the Knights.
Another update here, Parker. Final on the Brentwood game, 42-7. Brentwood beat Stewart's Creek. So
Stewart's Creek able to
Coach Crawford and the Brentwood Bruins.
Absolutely. You know, it's good to see that Stewart's Creek were able to get one on the board as well. But yeah, so far Brentwood's just shown how dominant they've been, or they can be and have been this year. 2nd and 3 here.
The flag on the field there. They might have started early.
I mean, a little bit of legal procedure here.
Offside. Summit. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
A little bit of movement on Summit. It's always good to see the ball going that way if you're Nolensville.
I'm sure Coach Hester's thinking, finally, you know, we need a few going the other direction.
Just stay composed, stay disciplined if you're the Knight defense, and things will happen in your favor. So after the penalty, it's going to be 2nd and 8 here. Odemegwu up the middle, and he is stuffed right at the line of scrimmage.
On the carry.
Great push by the linebackers at Nolensville there. Trying to make out who that was.
Grant Stockmaster on the tackle.
There's number 44, Grant Stockmaster there in there. One of the bunches to haul down Odemegwu. So critical third down here.
That's right. I'm sure Nolensville would like to get a stop here.
Bring in the pressure. And there goes Odemegwu again. Great blocking up there by tight end, tight end and guard on the right side.
And once again, Odemegwu kind of at will. Just another 6, 7, just eating them up a chunk at a time there.
As we see here, the line pulling over to the right.
Yeah, very nice blocking up in front of him, giving him a lane to run. We see the cell phone battles going on between the crowds here. Everybody's got their light on their cell phone and having their own battle back and forth here.
Now, Creed, that's a new one. Back when I was in high school, we didn't really have that. Great to see how times change. I'm not trying to speak my age there, but, you know, great to see that everyone's having fun here tonight. Because I know we are, and it's awesome to see the crowds on both sides having a good time.
And I mean, I think Summit's winning the game on the field right now. I'm not sure. I think the Nolensville crowd might have him in the cell phone light battle right now, though.
I believe you're correct. Might be a little outnumbered, but
that's right.
You know,
home field advantage.
So with the encouragement from the home crowd, their Knights defense, and then 2nd and 8 here. Summit on their 11-yard line. See one of those other toss plays, and that's Ty Carter back in the game.
Inside the 5-yard line.
Looks like he was able to pick about 5 or 6 there.
Just when maybe you're figuring out how you stop Odemegwu, here comes Ty Carter.
That's just that dual to triple threat that Coach Coleman has over there on that side with the running backs that they have over there.
Good job turning it upfield there and getting the yards that he had available to him.
So once again, we have a critical third down here. If you're Nolensville, we'd love to keep them out of the end zone, hold them to the field goal, or at least get them to 4th down here. Got a pro formation. Carter with it.
On the carry.
Looks like he got the first down, but still short of the touchdown. A little nostalgia for me tonight. My high school team was actually the Arab Knights from Alabama. So it's nice to be out at a Knights football game again for me.
You know, that's one mascot you don't hear much of in the high schools anymore is the Knights. So, and with Nolensville being one of the newer programs and everything, it's great to see it again.
Some sharp-looking logo too.
I was just about to say, you took the words right out of my mouth, just like you mentioned before. That logo is.
I might be a little biased, you know, because of my high school, but yeah, I like seeing the Knights out representing.
1st and goal here. Looks like Carter again up the middle.
Cash thinks he has it, but I haven't seen a signal from a referee yet. And there it is.
Touchdown, Summit.
Good job by Summit answering that score from Nolensville. Trying to keep them pressed down as best as they can here.
That's right. It took about 3.5 minutes off the clock as well. So
time's starting to become an issue now for Nolensville too. You know, if they are going to get back in this thing, get a couple scores, they're going to need to start doing it.
And if you are Nolensville at this point, not by any means saying this game is over, but you definitely don't want to worry about the potential 18 points that you're down. You want to worry about getting out on the field. Oh, with a fake here by Summit. Throwing it in the end zone. And it is incomplete.
2-point conversion failed.
You might notice who was holding there for Summit. That is Ethan Cash. So that gives them that option to try out.
A little fishy there. But
yeah, Coach Coleman getting a little tricky.
That's a gutsy call there. You know, I guess wanting to go up 19 instead of 17, make it a 4-possession game instead of 3.
Sure.
But you know, as I was saying, if you're Nolensville, you want to come out and score quick and just score. I mean, without the mistakes,
right.
without any
no more
errors.
2 steps forward, 1 step back. Right?
Absolutely. And even with that failed 2-point conversion there, you know, that could spark a little bit of encouragement there on that sideline as well.
17, that's 2 touchdowns and a field goal. So, you know, it's possible. big special teams play here would go a long way for the Knights' cause.
Absolutely.
Zach Campbell back deep to receive for the Knights.
And with Zach Campbell back there, he's definitely a threat. So we'll see if Summit continues to kick it to him or if they'll stray away from him.
We've seen good coverage by Summit special teams tonight. You know, they've done a good job bottling him up, making some nice open field tackles. See if they can continue.
As you see again, Summit's unique lineup and setup as they kick off. That's something I haven't seen. I like it. You know, I like a little bit of different touch to it.
It's gonna be interesting to see sometime down the line this year if they have any trickeration out of that formation that they do.
Absolutely, I'm sure there's something out of it. So Campbell's taking it from the 5 here with a boost of speed. He is free. Great blocking up front, and he is gone.
Well, we mentioned it.
Zach Campbell over return. Touchdown.
You called it, Creed. And just like we have called all night, Campbell's speed was just on showcase there.
He ran right out of our camera shot there, too. There he is. What a nice job by that man. Just hit the seam and never slowed down.
Absolutely.
That brought to you by Vanderbilt Bowling Joint.
That was a
Zach
heck of
Campbell
a
over
run.
return.
And just like you said, the Summit coverage has been great, but counteracted right there by great blocking by Nolensville special teams.
Yep. That's got this crowd pumped up big time again, and
we got ourselves a ball game right here.
Jenkins on the kick through the hole.
see if they can get the extra point here. We're back to a 10-point game if they do.
And Zach Campbell's also a junior, so it's definitely going to be a great key to have next year as a leadership role, and definitely showing off his speed again on that last play. That was
very impressive speed.
So it looks like the call's going to continue, or going to stay as a touchdown here.
Sideline warning, is that what we had?
Pretty sure. I'm not sure what the referees were discussing. Yeah, it sounds like a sideline warning, but hey, you know what? If I'm Coach Hutchison and that coaching staff, I'd be very excited.
I'd take the celebration penalty, right? You keep scoring, we'll keep taking the celebration penalty.
As long as those 6 points stay up on the board, I don't know if I would really be too upset with that. A little bit of lineup issue here. All right, as we get everyone lined up here. Gonna have Luke Jenkins here for the point after attempt.
Pick it up and good.
It's up and good. Almost
20 remaining contest in the
he was
score.
able to get it through.
Number 27, Nolensville, 17.
Well, we mentioned time was starting to be a factor. We were looking at it, and that's the way you want to answer if you're Nolensville. From a time perspective, you can't take any less off the clock than that to go ahead and get the score.
And here we go. Just to watch a masterful run back here. He didn't even look like he went left or right. He saw that hole and he just shot right through.
Yeah, nice little seam, and I think he grabbed it on about the 5, and I don't think he slowed down one step as he took off. So, very nice job of that by the Nolensville special teams unit.
And it looks
he didn't slow down any coming on the sideline either.
That's right. It looked like a little bit of fast forward there, but it wasn't much because he was doing the fast forward with his legs. But yeah, I think that was about a 95-yard kick return that took maybe 7 or 8 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, it was a quick trip down the field there. So, and now we're back to the other side here. Coach Coleman's going to want to answer again. He's been able to keep this little cushion. I'm sure he wants to keeping more than a 10-point cushion if he possibly can.
Absolutely, and you have to know, if you're Nolensville defense, you have to know that they're going to want to run the ball. That's their main force of their offense, and so maybe with the momentum that they have after that and how excited everyone is, and they're able to get together and come out and maybe put some more pressure on them and cause a turnover.
We're in that time zone also where any points for Summit here are crucial. It doesn't necessarily have to be a touchdown to put the game out of reach. It could be a field goal at this point to make it be where Nolensville couldn't quite catch up possibly. So it's going to be a big series here.
We'll see how much time they're able to get off that clock. Oh, looks like a little bit of an onside attempt there.
Had a little bit of a bobble on the catch, but looked like whoever that was, 19. Let me check my roster here. That's Abram Reyes was able to hang on to it.
And right after the play was over, we had a couple flags there from the officials. I'm not sure what it was. But I am sure they will let us know. Yeah, that was an interesting decision there by Hester, Coach Hester there. So got a personal foul on Nolensville.
Huh, I didn't see it live, but.
I'm not sure if it might have been a hit that was made on the ball carrier
late.
at the end. But
refs doing a pretty good job tonight. Haven't had too many arguments with them so far. So.
They haven't really had very many
pretty clean.
Crucial penalties.
There we see Coach Coleman. He's plotting out his next move here.
15-yard personal foul penalty.
Well, just we were talking about
Summit takes over first
the
and 10
momentum
from the 35.
Nolensville has there once again is another.
Not the field position you want to give Summit to try to stop him here.
Not at all. And that 15 yards absolutely is devastating. But we'll see if their defense here can come up with something big on their own after a great special teams play.
Ty Carter.
Well, Summit brought out their workhorse, and Carter going to take that
Ty
ball on
Carter
the left side off tackle.
Kind of pushing tacklers off of him as he went.
He almost looks like he gets faster as the game goes on.
Yeah, I don't think he wears down like regular humans do. You know, he's got that adrenaline going. He's just pushing people off of him as he churns out yards.
Great illusion of tackles there. So that's it's a long gain there by Carter, and he's going to bring up a 1st and goal. It looks like maybe inside the red zone here for the Spartans, but as the refs.
Penalty on Summit there?
That's what it looks like. Refs were deliberating for a minute. Got some happy defenders over there on the night side, so we'll see what the call is.
Personal foul.
Looks like it was a personal foul on Summit.
Ball will be spotted on the 25-yard line. Make your way to the concession stand. $1 hot dogs and $2 hamburgers. While they last.
Didn't like the free yards that Nolensville gave him on the personal earlier foul, so they gave it right back.
Well, I know that's definitely not something Coach Coleman's going to want to see after a potential 20-yard gain there, but nonetheless, it'll be 1st and 10 here for Summit. Carter going to the right side, and once again eluding tacklers. That's another thing.
Carter on the carry.
Yes, Ty Carter is an amazing running back, and it's something special, something you don't see every day, but missed tackles are also an issue here on Nolensville defense.
True. Yep.
But like you said, though,
Ty Carter, we saw a nice spin move in the Independence game with Ty Carter. It's like he hit the circle button here again and trying to pull something off there.
So they got him inside the 20 here, so another red zone opportunity for the Spartans. He's 2nd down here.
I'm sure Coach Coleman would like to see this clock keep on ticking too.
Absolutely, and that's definitely not
Carter
surprised.
in the backfield, flag down on the play.
Now lost yards there, but also have another flag
by Jack McWilliams.
back in the secondary here. The placement of the flag, it looks like possible holding. Or that's exactly what's going to be on Summit.
Holding against the Spartans.
So if you're Coach Hester, do you accept it or do you decline it here?
Well, he's getting the explanation here.
If he declines it, I believe it'll be a 3rd down. We'll see what he decides to do here.
Holding against the Spartans. Penalty will be declined. 3rd down.
So 7. He does decline it.
Chooses to decline it and sets up a big 3rd and 4 here. 7:18 left.
And again, that clock is moving, but this is going to be a crucial stand here from the Nolensville defense. A little bit of trickeration, then done another double give, but I think he's going to be short. my angle.
Odomegu on the carry. Miller on the tackle.
Interesting call here for Coach Coleman. We haven't seen their field goal unit tonight.
So that's going to bring up a 4th and 1.5.
Ravenwood Page update. Not sure on the time left in this game, but fourth quarter, Ravenwood is up 33-21 on Page. So
looks like they're starting to pull away a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Franklin seems to be taking care of business. Minute 42 left in that game, up 34-7 on McGavick. So good job, Coach Webb and the Franklin Rebels.
4th and 1 here. Ty Carter up the right side off the tackle. And it looks like it's going to be enough to move the chains there.
First down.
Didn't get much more than he needed, but he got what he needed.
That's going to be a tough one to swallow there with the personal foul penalty on Nolensville and then just the relentless running attack that Summit has, and the time's not going to stop, so it's hard to
don't have a clock on the Independence Hillsborough game, but fourth quarter Independence has pulled away 49-14, so that game is also over.
That's also another impressive score there, and that's gonna looks like it's gonna bring Independence to 2-2 now. And as we see, Ty Carter just refusing to go down, and that's going to be another touchdown for the Spartans.
Nice run by Ty Carter, just doing what Ty Carter does.
You know, he's not a huge back, but the way that he's able to use that stiff arm, just keep distance from defenders, and with his speed, it's pretty impressive.
Tenacity, you know,
absolutely.
Me and Dr. Qualls were talking. He's like that on the basketball court too. You know, he is a good leader and just fierce and as a point guard for their basketball team, and brings that same competitiveness out here to football too.
Obviously,
and good.
Obviously a great athlete out here playing both plays. But I always love to hear about the sport athlete.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's great, also great.
All runners and walkers.
But with that extra point being good for Summit,
run, walk, and roll.
5:55 left in the fourth quarter. We have Summit High School up 34-17 over Nolensville.
Summit crowd is pumped to see Ty Carter on the replay, taking the handoff.
Registration opens early October.
Shedding a tackler there like he's been doing all night. And that missed tackle, nobody else really wanted to hit him as he ran.
I was going to say, he showed that speed around that corner, but 4 Nolensville guys there didn't show.
It didn't look like they wanted to piece of Ty Carter on that one. I'm not sure.
I don't know if I would either, honestly, Greed, but that's why I'm up here with you tonight. So if you're Nolensville,
well, you run another kickback here. That's what you do.
Well, that would be nice, but this is definitely a point to absolutely build and like you mentioned earlier, getting better every game. And I think we're witnessing that tonight too. They've already gotten better, especially with just the way their defense has
definitely
kept this offensive Summit, intact.
This is very close to what Independence scored on Summit, and so when you put that in perspective, that's a solid statement for the Knights,
This kickoff here.
Do you kick to Campbell again?
I doubt it, and it looks like they decided not to as well, but it was kick to Colby Henderson there. He had a nice little return himself.
Across the 35 near the 38-yard line. First and 10 Knights. Tackle made by Ashton LaBelle.
We'll see what kind of game plan Coach Hesser is going to bring out with his team. I think, obviously, I would try to score early, as quick as you can. Just keep the momentum going on the offensive side. But we'll see what they decide to do here. With Pistolka having a great game, we'll see how many carries he has here as he goes up the gut here as well. About 4 or 5 yards there.
I don't see Carter out on defense right now. If he's not out there, that might be your chance to do something over the top, possibly.
Yeah, I haven't seen him much tonight on the defensive side.
And it might be the coach called you want to rest him somewhere, and so maybe in this game he felt his running was maybe more important than his coverage, possibly. Absolutely.
And so we have Hayes and Szymanski out there on the corners, picking up the roles there for Carter.
Myers on the
Quickly
stop.
into a third down here for Nolensville.
Yeah, there's two short runs. Summit's not going to give up too much there. We'll have to find some more motion in the backfield that was good for Nolensville that started off the second half. Shotgun snap to Warden on the outside. One-handed catch.
Snag there.
Reception made
Wes
by
Jones
Wes
there.
Jones.
Able to keep a foot in bounds. Don't know if it was enough for the first down. We'll see where they mark it.
Doing his best, Odell Beckham Jr. there.
Ball is
Looks
spotted
like it's
at the
going to be
48. We need to
about
make
a
it
football
49.
length away
4th and 1.
from the marker there.
Oh, there
It was a great looking shot
nice
there.
grab. Just reeled it right in. Nice job with the feet getting in bounds too.
Well, 4th and 1 here for the Knights. Looks like a design keeper for Warden.
Gonna be close.
No, I don't know if he got it. We'll see what the
carry.
mark of the ball is, but
Good penetration from Summit on
great push, absolutely.
Tight game in Fairview right now. Don't have a time, but third quarter 28-28 against Waverly. So good luck to Coach Hughes and the Yellow Jackets to
Absolutely.
get another score or two on the board there. Here we see, it's going to be close. Might have been I don't know.
Well, it looks
They're
like
bringing
the
out the chain gang.
gang's going to have their first opportunity of the evening out here. Boy, this will be big for Nolensville if they can keep this drive going. And it looks like it's just a bit short.
Just a little short. Well, good job by Summit.
First down, Summit.
A solid stop to kind of, that might be the nail in this game to kind of dash any crazy dreams that Nolensville had of a crazy comeback here. But
Absolutely, that's definitely something Coach Coleman's going to be happy to see. Keep getting their offense back on the field. With 4.5 minutes left to go in this game, you don't want Nolensville to have any other type of chance, because we've seen what they can do. We've seen what they can do on special teams, and any freak breaks can happen. But so with 4.5 minutes left, I'm pretty sure that the Spartan offense can run off a good bit of that.
They've been running well all night, and expect to see more of it here.
The first down run there.
Like Peyton Craig on the carry, I think, number 24.
24, Peyton Craig. That's the first carry of the game. That was a great carry as well.
Peyton Craig on the carry down to the 40-yard line.
Coach Coleman getting to put a couple guys in. Haven't seen much action tonight. And it's important to get those guys work too. You never know when somebody's gonna have to step up and be ready for the moment if somebody's out.
Absolutely, and good time to try out different packages and stuff as well for the offense. So after a 9-yard gain, we got 2nd and 1 here for the Spartans. Looks like that's Craig again there, fighting his way.
Flag at the end.
Gets the first down, but there looks like might have been a little late hit there at the end.
Referees are talking it over.
You really don't want to start getting mental errors this late in the game like that if you're in Nolensville. Don't want to get too out of the way, even though it may not win the game, but I just want to keep everything positive and keep going. Hey, get more points on the board. So that is going to be against the Knights. I'm not sure what that call was. It definitely was a 15-yard penalty, though.
Never saw the
signal. The will be spotted at the 22-yard line. 1st and 10, Summit.
So after the penalty, the Spartans are going to have the ball on Nolensville's 22-yard line.
Well, Summit, they wound up 7-4 overall last year. Saw their first playoff action. I know Coach Coleman, he's wanting to build on that this year, and he is. I know one of his goals. I'm sure his goal is to win it all, but one of his goals is they want to host a playoff game and win that playoff game, and I think that's a pretty solid goal for the Summit squad this year.
Absolutely, they have the talent to do it, and so far they're showing they're on the right path to get there. So we had Craig on the give on the first down there, stuffed, and we even saw Ethan Cash coming in behind to try to push the line a little bit. But yet again, we have another flag. We'll see what the call is.
Personal foul.
Personal foul against Summit.
So, you know, Creed, we haven't really had too many flags tonight, but the past 6 or 7 minutes in this fourth quarter,
up here at the end, yeah.
we've had a good bit of personal fouls on both sides. So as you were mentioning, Summit's record last year going into this year,
15-yard penalty.
Definitely going to be with their schedule coming up. They have a decent road to get there if they're wanting to get back to the playoffs. But the one I'm circling on my schedule is going to be Columbia Central.
Sure. Yep.
They had the surprise this year, and they're going to be tough to beat, and that's. That we mentioned earlier, Columbia Central and Page both back-to-back. Those are going to be two true tests for Coach Coleman and his guys to see what they're really made of there.
Our next game, WCTV next week, we're going to be Franklin Rebels at the Independence Eagles. Both those teams coming off big wins tonight. So
yeah, my alma mater, that'd be a good one to see right there. And with Franklin coming out of a solid win tonight, it's some momentum. I think that's going to be a great matchup. So with the clock rolling inside 2 minutes and 40 seconds, second down here, the play's going to be cut dead by a flag.
Flag down on the play.
So we have a false start on Summit.
Strategic call against the Spartans.
Well, if there is such thing as good penalties, which is not, but the upside, Summit's making these penalties this late in the game, up by three possessions. So
yeah,
not something to be proud of, but there is always an upside.
I'm sure the coaches are not happy about it.
So we have a second down and 30 here from the 42-yard line. 24 Craig gonna have a little pitch to the left side there.
Coach Coleman is just wanting this clock to run on out. I think he's
carry by Craig.
Yeah, time to
probably see the punt team come on here.
Third down, 25 yards to go.
Well, if Nolensville can get a stop, I'm sure we'll see the punt team here. But
oh yeah.
So with 3rd and 25, clock is still rolling. Like you said, yeah, Coach Coleman's gonna want to get out of here and.
Sounds like I'm wanting to get out of here. I'm jumping down on him too.
work on some things next week and get ready for their next game.
What's that little wow!
Oh,
turned into a nice game. It's
walking up on the carry, touchdown!
Sort of a weird handoff thing going on there.
That was Quinn Slutterhoff there with 35 for a touchdown for the Spartans. I believe. That double handoff give that they've ran a bunch tonight has thrown Nolensville off, and twice that has turned into a touchdown, and that one right there was a very impressive run.
Kind of a weird something weird going on in the backfield there, with Cash and a weird arm motion and a little tricky.
Oh, that touchdown give.
A nice run by Slockenhop too. I mean,
he up.
Absolutely, he showed off a little bit of speed of his own there.
1:26 remaining in the contest and scored.
So after the point attempt, that gives Summit 40 and Nolensville 17 with 1:26 left. If it's me and I'm on Nolensville sidelines, I'm trying to score here. There's another one of those Statue of Liberty plays that they get there.
Weird high fake handoff, and Slockenhop just takes it and goes around the corner. And
one more reminder
turns
of
on
the
Jets.
bonfire at Outlanders after the game. Stop
good
by,
looking play
enjoy some of the
there.
good
But if I'm
chicken
Nolensville,
tenders and wings.
I want to score. 126 left.
Sure, yeah.
And, you know, I want to get in the end zone, and I'm sure that's what Coach Hester's telling his guys as well.
Coach Coleman ready to get this one wrapped up. I'm sure he just wants all his guys to stay focused here at the end of the game. You know, not get any silly penalties or get provoked or anything like that. You know, it's been a nice, clean game. Two teams and two coaches that respect each other, and that's usually what we see out of Williamson County teams. You know, that's a nice thing that we get to be part of on Friday nights.
Absolutely, it's always athletic sports in this day and age is so important, and these guys coming in on both sides, just having a good time and showing great sportsmanship. That's just what is going to keep sports going here. And another little pooch. There's number 1.
West Jones on the
Wesley
return.
Jones there.
Nolensville crowd still, the student section, I don't think there's been a single person leave. They're pumped up still. They're still hyped up with their songs and chants going on. So
they're excited
Ball
to see some
spotted
football.
34-yard line. 1st and 10 Knights.
and
And that's great.
they've seen a lot of good things out of their team today, too.
Absolutely. So let's see if they decide to air the ball out here. Why not? So 1st and 10 from 34. Got Warden rolling out to the right. Throwing it to the left Wesley there.
West Jones on the reception across the 40 near the 41-yard line. Going to be 3rd down, about 3 yards to go. Reyes on the stop.
It's one of the few passes his way tonight. He's usually their deep threat, averaging, I believe, about around 20 yards per catch, and he's their deep threat, and hasn't really been a target this evening. Going right is Warden over the middle there.
Looks like something's just kind of keeping
Kerr on
everything
the
in front of
reception
them at this
across
point.
midfield. That's enough
not
for
wanting
another
to give them that big
Nolensville.
play.
First
Yeah,
down.
definitely playing a little bit of zone there. Connor Kerr there on the catch.
Tackle made by Weldon.
Clock will stop while the chains move.
Connor getting his first catch of the evening. Able to get 1st down. It looks like Coach Hester is going to be calling his first time out of the half.
Timeout, Nolensville.
A lot to be excited for if you're a Summit fan. You know, they're going to be moving to 3-1. Pretty dominant performance tonight. You know, Nolensville has had their moments, but Summit has had control of this game and has, I think, importantly, had an answer every time Nolensville's done something too. And that's exciting for them going forward. They're hoping to take that next step this year. And I know Coach Coleman has said no more excuses. I'm tired of being a building program. I'm ready for everything that we can do. So.
And that's exactly what they're showing so far this year. And going off of your point, they've been able to build off of other teams' mistakes. They're able to make something out of turnovers that they have caused or that other teams are doing. And that right there just shows a resilient, mature football team. And that's going to get them where they want to be.
That's right. I mean, and I think nothing, it shows that more than that goal line stop and takeaway that they had that really set the tone for this game, because if Nolensville had scored there, we really were looking at a different going into the half and everything, and that was huge for Summit in this game.
Totally different ball game if the ball fell a different way. Well, here Warden's going to have a little screen pass to, I believe that's once again 13.
Zach Campbell on the reception down inside the 20-yard line.
Just really gets moving once he gets
Tackle
the ball.
made by
A little
Craig.
slow getting up here. Hope he's okay. He's had a heavy workload tonight. Had a lot. I don't know his catch count or anything, but
I'm going to say
here we see the replay.
at least 10 to 12 targets. And with that 95-yard kick return, he's had a great game tonight.
Does a good job moving in space. Gets his legs tangled up a little bit there. Maybe banged a knee or something coming down. I'm not sure, but
Roll out to the left is Brandon Ward.
not much
He was
opportunity
forcing
there.
out of bounds. It looks like he was trying to get a little bit of a shovel pass to go for an incompletion, but it looks like they're going to mark him out there at the 21.
That time Noah getting a little bit of a workout on the sideline. Our other cameraman coming right at him. Those 20-yard lines are dangerous for the WCTV crew tonight.
Hey, at least we got an athletic bunch out there.
That's
so
right.
We're ready to go. So with 19 seconds left, And Nolensville here, second down and 19. Definitely going to run, try to get 6 here. Wharton over the middle to Stakeskull, breaking a couple tackles and forcing his way up to about the 5-yard line there. Make it the 6th.
And he, the other bright spot for Nolensville tonight. He's had a very good game, and really, again, had some nice yards after he's caught the ball tonight.
And defensive side as well. His
first and goal at the 5-yard line
has been in on every pile, it seems like, tonight. Right. And that's definitely something there's going to be a bright spot you're going to want to see come in the next couple of years for Nolensville. He's also a junior, so he'll be one of another leadership roles next year for them.
And having some seniors goes a long way. You got guys that are, suddenly it's their last time playing, this team in high school, and it means a little bit more when you're a senior. And you just when you don't have a senior, you just don't have that senior leadership that you hear about. So it'll be fun to watch Nolensville as they continue to grow in their program.
Absolutely. Then you'll get these freshmen this year coming in as sophomores next year, able to dampen the role and get more guys in.
And so many young guys getting so much playing time that they might not if it was a more established team. Then you see them 2 or 3 years down the road.
Oh, goodness.
That playing time pays off. There was a nice interception
Pass
there.
intercepted by number 3, John Casey.
And John Casey there at the reception as the horn.
We're triple zeros.
Summit, 41.
Well, Knowles will try. They had a great drive there going in. Just looks like
last interception, just a nice little grab there to wrap this one up.
Well, as the teams shake hands, the final tonight will be Summit 41, Nolensville 17. I'm Parker Hazard and Creed Henderson. Thank you very much for tuning in to WCTV's Game of the Week. We'll see you next time.